Welcome to the new studio. Today's Dad Fitness podcast is with my good friend Carl, who is a recovered addict with 10 years sober. He also has lost 50 pounds, bringing himself from 240 right down to 190. He's got 2 kids, working a blue-collar job in Texas. I wanted to do a podcast for the dads because a lot of the fitness influencers that I follow, they're all single, late 20s, maybe early 30s, living in Dubai, and it's just hard to relate to those people who have managed to drop everything and they don't have the responsibilities that a lot of dads have. So hopefully you'll enjoy it, find something useful, or at the very least entertaining.
Oh, do you lift weights that are like actually challenging for you when you're doing your follow-on videos, or do you do it light enough to where you're not wrecked?
I'll usually pick 1 or 2 kilos under whatever my working weight would be, and then so that I can still talk, because if I was actually working out I probably wouldn't be able to talk at the same time. Yeah. And then, but probably 1 in 3 or 4 workouts I just overestimate myself, and I just absolutely blow and can't finish the workout. Probably 1 in 8 workouts I'll just bail and I have to stop, restart with a lighter weight. Or if I know my editor can transition it, I try not to do this, but I'll just go and get a different weight, and then in the pop-up it will transition across. But 90% of the time I'm probably doing it just straight in one take. Yeah. But yeah, sometimes I just get it wrong. Sometimes I give up. Sometimes I just swap weights out.
That's pretty great.
And go down. I wanted to do a podcast because all the fitness influencers that I follow tend to be like single guys that have very few commitments, usually like early 30s or in their 20s, and no kids. And the rise and grind attitude on that is not very relatable for someone with kids with a full-time job. How do you manage to fit in like working out around your family life?
I have to make sure to be really flexible. I need to be willing to kind of bail on a workout if things aren't going well at home. Yeah. At the end of the day, family has to be number one. Yeah. That being said, though, it usually works out quite well. So I'll just go after work, and first thing after work, I don't bother going home to change even. I just go straight there. All
right. What do you do for work? What is it?
Oh, I'm a hydraulic technician. It's working on machines.
True blue-collar Texan.
Yeah.
So what do you wear for work then?
I actually wear a blue onesie.
And you go to the gym. Go to the gym in a blue onesie.
It's funny. It actually earns respect. It's funny. People think that I'm like really dedicated and working extra hard because of it, but I'm really actually just saving time and being more lazy.
Do you have boots? Do you wear trainers?
I usually wear these boots.
Really? Yeah. You wouldn't be allowed in most gyms in those boots. So you're a Texan working a blue-collar job who goes to the gym in overalls and boots. That's so funny. And then you worked out a bit before kids. What would you do working out-wise prior to having kids?
I didn't have a very structured workout program. I just kind of would sometimes go to the gym. Most of my athletic kind of stuff would be from just doing the athletic stuff I'm interested in, not so much training exactly. Yeah. Now I've got kids.
More routine now you have kids.
Much. And if anything, it almost helps with that, at least for me, because I have to structure my day or it won't work. So everything is planned out.
One funny thing you mentioned is that you'll do your workout, and then when you get home, you'll finish the workout that you didn't finish at the gym. Yeah. How's that work? So why?
The reason for that is at first I was going, I go 5 days a week, and it's all the work days of the week that I go. Yeah. And I was being away from the family a lot, and my wife was finding that really hard. Having the kids, and I would end up taking long enough to where they would be into the kind of their bedtime routine by the time I got home. Yeah. And so we had sat down and kind of like had to think about what we could do to get me home more. She wanted me to just cut back. I didn't feel I wanted to avoid cutting back on my volume if possible. Yeah. So I thought about the things I could possibly do at home. I ended up buying a set of adjustable dumbbells.
Yeah.
And I have a bar outside that I can use for pull stuff. And so I'll do everything at the gym that I need the gym for.
Yeah.
Straight away. Then I'll go home and I'll continue my workout after like a 15-minute rest break between sets.
Do the kids ever try and join in?
They do, yeah. They come.
What can they do?
They nothing.
How old you got?
So I've got a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
And they're both boys. I've got a 3-year-old.
Can you pick any of the dumbbells up?
Theo can pick up my oldest son, 3-year-old, can pick up the dumbbells when I set them to 5 pounds.
Okay.
And so sometimes he'll pick those.
Probably the same my son can lift. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give him some just to keep him entertained. I'm like, here's some 1-2 kilos.
It's a good idea. I should
then
probably.
he'll copy me.
Oh, that's really smart.
It's good.
Yeah. I should probably get some of the. My wife actually has some light ones in the house that I could probably bring outside because I do most of it outside.
He'll just copy what I'm doing.
That's
and
pretty
it keeps
cool.
them entertained for a while. So I'll do that out here. I'll sometimes take it. Though obviously the workout is like, it doesn't flow very well.
Sure. No.
Not to hit him with the dumbbells, answering questions.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a set. It's still accruing volume.
Sure.
Whilst they're around.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's the same. I'll be working out, and they'll often want to like grab onto the bar while I'm doing it and things like that. So it certainly slows down my like how fast the workout is once I'm home. But at least I am home, so I can help if it's necessary.
Yeah. I'll tend to avoid like deadlifts, squats, anything where the bar is not under like full control, or I couldn't just move it slightly out the way. But I'll do like curls, arms, shoulders, anything where like if he walks underneath me, and that's fine. I can get quite a good amount of sets done even with him around. Yeah,
for me, it's mainly just takes more time. It's not so much a danger factor for the stuff that I'm doing. I'm not moving huge weights around usually. At home.
And then, what's the biggest challenge then? What's around balancing work, family, and fitness? What's the obstacle there?
Easily, time is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Even though I get off pretty early, it's actually getting it all in, all the volume I want to get in, is a big challenge. And
5 days a week's a lot though. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I suppose.
Do you think that comes from you had like an addictive personality?
Oh yeah.
Obviously, from like your past.
Oh yeah.
Do you think that creeps into your workout? Is that why it's 5 times a week?
Definitely. Well, it's why it's 5 times a week, and it's probably why I want the volume I want. And
do you think that's why you finish your sets at home as well?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I think it's I've gotten definitely an obsessive aspect over it. So like if I'm not hitting like the kind of metrics that I've laid out to myself that I'm going to hit, I find it disappointing. So I kind of go out my way to make that work.
Do you think all addicts channel their addiction somewhere else as part of their recovery, or do you think some people just manage it and don't necessarily channel it elsewhere?
I actually don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's true that they all do that.
The only like famous addict like I regularly listen to or have listened to would be like Russell Brand.
Yeah.
And he seems to just have, obviously he had one addiction and then he'll just switch to something else.
Yeah.
And he seems to have, in later of life, just found healthier addictions.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. So I was wondering if that's indicative of all addicts, or most at least. Or...
I think that's one of the pieces of the pie. I think there's also just general better kind of emotional and kind of spiritual regulation involved.
Yeah, a bit of both.
Really. Yeah.
Well, do you ever feel the pressure as a father or as a man to provide for the family, like from a stress point of view? Do you feel like that's like a primal pressure or not?
Yes. I don't worry so much that they're not going to get their basic needs met. I'm not in a position where that's something I have to worry about.
Yeah.
I know that I have to still make it to my job and get through the day, and or things aren't going to be the way that kind of their life isn't going to be what I want for them.
Yeah.
And so it's still a pressure, and I mean just the fact of knowing I have to get through work and kind of for them. It's not an option to just not do it.
Yeah.
But, it is there. I know they're going to be okay at the end of the day, though, either way.
Do you feel like there's a pull between being a provider and being present or not? Or is that just
yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. I mean, it's the biggest thing that takes me away from my family is my job, by far. So there's just inherently a pull there, especially for the job that I have, which is I need to go to a different location and just be there for the day. And on a normal day, that's 8 hours, but it can be 10, 12 hours, depending on if there's
I find sometimes that it's not always even the time, but if I've had like a big day, lots of sessions back to back,
true,
I can be home, but I'm not actually even there. I'm exhausted. I have no like emotional energy left.
Good point.
And I think I'm trying to learn that just because I've reserved time, if I've spent all my emotional energy, then there's nothing left really for the family anymore.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But I'm still being self-employed as well. That's always a challenge.
I'm sure, because you're trying to balance. You're having to be at work while you're with your family as well.
Yeah,
so it's like even more kind of.
I've tried to implement 2 phones, one with all the addictive apps and work on, and then one with nothing on.
Yeah, I was wondering why you had 2 phones.
I'm not dealing anything. But there's nothing on. There's just WhatsApp and my calendar on one phone. That's the one I'll take out for the day. Yeah. And then on my other phone, there's like YouTube, Instagram, which kind of comes under work, but it also just becomes a distraction. Yeah, and if I go out for the day, I'll leave the phone with YouTube, Instagram, and all that at home, I just take the other phone. And I could still get onto YouTube, but even going through the web browser, it's a bit clunky. Yeah. It does definitely reduce usage, and it's not as easy. And it is also a reminder of the fact I have to go through a web browser to try and, at least on my days off, try and be present. That helps. That's really cool. I like that. I actually struggle with the phone. Like, that is the biggest thing that distracts me. When I'm not doing work or working out or anything, like looking at my phone, just kind of fluffy apps and all that, Yeah. It's such a time waster. It is, I'm the same. I find it really addictive. Yeah. And I don't have TikTok anymore. That's smart. Yeah, I've deleted it a couple times. You gotta just get rid of it for good. Yeah, it's no good. I don't know if there's anything positive about it at all. It's just doom scrolling. I tried it. I thought, I should have it for business. Yeah. Put a few things up. It's just not for me. It's just there's too short form, clicky content. It's kind of like I prefer the long form YouTube format. What fitness milestones have you achieved since you've been working out regularly then that you're most proud of? One of them is simply just the fact that I work out regularly. I feel like in past kind of endeavors in working out at the gym, I've gone pretty full bore into like a program and then just stopped after a couple months. Yeah. But I've maintained consistent for I think close to a year now. It's not what split are you doing? I do a push-pull leg split, but I have 2 days. So it's Monday push, Tuesday pull, Wednesday legs, and then Thursday push, Friday pull, and then I only do 1 leg day because I hate them and I don't prioritize my legs. You're getting one done a week though. One a week, one leg day. That's not too bad. If you're doing 1 a week, that's not too bad. You're gonna pay homage. Yeah, I have been trying to convince you to do 2 half, or even just over half leg days. I think that is a good method. So you do your squats on 1 day, and then a bit of quad stuff, and then you do your hamstrings on another day. Maybe a bit less grueling for individual workout. Each day feels easier, but you get a bigger total volume at the end of the week. Yeah, well, maybe I'll end up sticking one on a Sunday or Friday or Saturday or something. Yeah. Do you have any advice for current dads struggling to balance fitness, family, work, or even like soon-to-be dads? So. Yes, kind of. I'd say keep in mind that your family is the most important thing you have. Yeah. As far as logistical stuff, I'd say the biggest hack I've found, if you can call it a hack, is just allow yourself some type of home equipment, so you can at least do some stuff at home.
Because simply being there for the family, even if you're distracted, even if you're doing a workout, just the fact that you can be there if something's going on that you need to be there for is helpful.
I agree, actually. Yeah, family comes first, but that actually also means staying healthy for them. But if you're really into the gym, do we need like 5 days a week to be healthy?
Probably not.
Probably not.
True.
However, if, like you said, if you can have some home equipment, if you can make it work, great. I think actually, having some equipment at home to even supplement your gym work is probably #1 tip. I built this studio almost for that reason, so I can be home more often, obviously for recording as well, but I'll be working out from home. It cuts the travel time to the gym and back. I can have the kids around and get a few extra sets in, a bit like you were saying. So invest in some home equipment. I'm amazed how many people will do my follow-along workouts, and they'll be doing it for months and months, and they're just commenting saying, "Oh, I've only got one pair of dumbbells."
Oh no.
And now, if these are working people, I'm sure they're going out and buying coffees and buying stuff in everyday life, and they just don't ever buy another pair of dumbbells. I'm like, just buy 2 or 3 pairs of dumbbells or 1 adjustable pair. I don't know why people spend so much money on other things and won't just put, I don't know, £100, $100 into something that they could use every single day. I'm sure they spend more than that in every other area of their life.
Yeah, my adjustable set is easily paid for itself by now in terms of how much I've used it.
And then any goals or aspirations, one for your fitness or for your work going forwards for you personally?
So, I mean, yes, and goals and aspirations for fitness is kind of a sliding and always moving further away goal, which is just more progress. What
numbers do you want to hit?
I'd love to get 225 on bench, but just because that's 2 plates in America. I live in America.
I think they can tell.
Yeah. So 2 plates on bench. I'm pretty far away from that still, probably for a 1 rep max. I don't even really know what it is. And
I love the meme. There's a meme I sent to my brother. Have you seen the film 300?
Yeah.
And it's got one of the Persian kings, and it says something like, "I am a god amongst men." Or it's like POV when you bench 100 kilograms for the first time and see your buddies, and it's like, "I am a god amongst men." I love
exactly. That. It's like the threshold into being like a lifter or someone who like goes to the gym.
It's actually, if you're not if you haven't got the body type that's like optimal for benching, it's actually a lot of weight. It's 225 is really hard.
To me, it's crazy.
Yeah, to me, it's actually not that heavy, but that's just because I've got such short arms, long torso. But then doing like a 200 kilo deadlift for me feels like a lifetime achievement. I've just fallen shy of achieving. I'm not sure if I'll ever get it, but we'll see. And then what about work-wise? You got any work? It sounds like you've got a solid job that's doing really well for you. And I don't think everyone should strive to be an entrepreneur. I really don't. It comes with as many problems as it solves. But is there anything for you?
So yes, it's a very long-term goal. And so right now I do have a job and it pays the bills and it's got upward mobility built into where I'm at. So there's like room for me to earn more and have a better position. Eventually, I'd like to, through kind of just saving and kind of investing, reach a point where it would be financially viable for me to switch to more of a part-time type of situation and possibly pursue my own business, but without the pressure of it having to be an independent financial kind of support for my whole family and myself, to where it could be like not tons of money coming in and it would be okay.
That's one of the things I struggle with when you're watching a lot of the current fitness influencers talking. If you've got a mortgage already, you've got kids to support, it's quite hard to just suddenly drop it all. You've got responsibilities. I'm glad I started my business before I had kids. And we managed to ride out the harder years of the business when I didn't have as many responsibilities. And I'd find it really hard now to start in the same way I did. I don't think I would start a gym now if I had kids. However, there are like side hustles like the YouTube. I definitely would have started anyway, and you could build that. So I'd probably, if you're a dad wanting to like leverage some time and maybe become a bit more financially independent, which is really the only goal, that's to be more time independent, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'd say try and start like a side hustle that you're interested in that has relatively low overheads, basically no commercial rent.
Yeah, sure.
The commercial rent for running a gym is cripplingly high.
Yeah.
Like we have to be a successful business to break even, and then anything on top. While there's doing the online stuff, it's more competitive, but it's a lot easier and it's a lot lower risk. And actually, the potential is higher in it as well.
That makes sense. You don't have that fixed cost at the end of the day all the time.
Yeah, and then it's the contract as well. So if I can't pay the remainder of my lease, so if the business fails, my house is the insurance to pay the remainder of that lease.
Right.
So if we couldn't pay it, I'd have to sell my house to do that. And it's just a ridiculously high risk.
It's really high stakes. Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's tough. Signing leases with long break clauses is rough. But yeah, definitely go online. Start a hobby, make some money before you quit your day job.
Yeah, definitely no plans to quit the day job before. It's just hopefully someday, Yeah, that would be nice.
Cool. Well, thanks for kicking off the Dadcast.
Yeah,
Dad podcasts.
I feel honored.
Hopefully we can do some more like this, find some more dads out there. In and out of rehab, but he finally managed to crack it's the wrong word.